Hello, Year 5, and welcome to our third math lesson of the week. Today we're going to focus on counting in powers of 10. I'll explain what this means on the next flip, so do not worry. But first things first, we're going to have a quick look at our success criteria. So we have got identify the column, increase or decrease a column by 1. If you go over 9, increase the column to the left by 1. If you go to below 0, decrease the column to the left by 1. So that's going to be a very important distinction there. So here, powers of 10. What are powers of 10? So powers of 10 are just 10 times by itself more than once. So we start at 10 and we go 10 times 10 equals 100. 10 times 10 equals 100. And times 10 again equals 1,000. And again here, 10 times 10 equals 100, times by 10 equals 1,000, and 1,000 times by 10 equals 10,000. So what sort of pattern do you notice with these numbers? 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000. What sort of pattern do you notice? And you would be correct if you said they get 10, each one gets 10 times bigger. Spot on. So we're going to look at that into practice. So powers of 10 are just 10 times by itself more than once. So here we go, once, twice, and then 3 times. So we're going to first of all focus on counting in 100. So we've got 4,533. What we're going to do is we're going to identify the hundreds column because we are counting forward in 100. So we're going to look at hundreds, which is there. And I go, right, how is that going to change if I'm adding 100 every time? The hundreds column is going to increase by 1. So I go, right, so it's 4,633. Notice how I'm adding 100 and only one column is changing so far. That's important. The next one, again, I got a 6. The next one is going to be 7. 4,733. So again, very important. I'm only changing one column so far. Now this is forward. Now I want to go back. So again, I'm at 5. I want to go back. So what's before 5? It's going to be 4. So it's going to be 4,433. 4,433. And then again, look at my hundreds. I've got 4. Back one more equals 4,333. Right, what I want you to do now is I try and pause the video and then have a go at the bottom one by yourself. And I will go for the answers when you unpause it. Right, okay, let's have a look at what we all got, shall we? So I'm counting forward in 100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify the hundreds. So I've got 6. So I'm counting forward, so it's going to be 8,738. 8,738. Excuse my slightly rough handwriting here. And then again, I'll look at my hundreds. I go 400 again, so it's going to be 8,838, like so. And here again, I'm going to go back in 100. So I've got the 6 in the hundreds. Going back, it's going to be a 5. So I've got 8,538. And I'm going to go back again, which means it's going to be 8,438. 8,438. Like so. Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit tricky because we're going to have to focus on this bit of the success criteria. If you go below 0, decrease the column to the left by 1. So here, I'm going to go forward first, then I'll go backwards. Right, so I've got 4,513. I want to go forward in 10. So look at my 10s. I want to increase it by 1. So now it's going to be 4,623. And then I do it again, it's going to be 4,633. like so. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit more complicated, but I think we should be able to do it quite easily. So again, now I've got 4,513. I'm going to go back one. If I got take away 10 from there? That means, in theory, I have got 4,503. Now, obviously, here I've got nothing now. So what am I going to have to do? And well done for the ones that have worked out that you have to decrease the hundreds by 1 and then add that on to the next column. So if I put 4,500 there, just so it's slightly different, effectively what I'm going to do is I'm going to mentally, in my head, exchange. So I'll cross out the 5 and put a 4. So now I've got 10 tens. And all I need to do is take away 1 from here. So I'll have 4,493. That's important. My ones do not change. That's very important. All you're going to do is exchange a little bit there in your head. Right. What I want you to do now, year 5, is I want you to pause the video and I will go through the bottom one with you as well. But I want you to have a go by yourself first. So pause the video and I will go through it. Right, okay, let's take a look at what we've all got, shall we? So, 6,519. I'll go forward first, then I will go back. So, look at my tens, I've got a 1 again. So again, I'm going to increase that by 10, so the 1's going to become a 2. So I've got 6,529. And then I'm going to look at my tens again and increase it by another 10. So I'm going to have 6,539. So far, the only column I've changed is the tens. So just be careful there. May help if I get the right column. There we go. Right, so now I'm going to go back in tens, and this is where it might get a little bit tricky. So 6,519, 10 take away, which means I've got 6,509. All I've done is I've decreased that 10 column by 1 because I'm going back in 10, so you take away a 10, which means losing with 0 tens. Now, here, like I said, if it helps you, you should be able to do this in your head, and later in the year you will be. Again, 6,509. All you need to do is in our heads mentally exchange. So cross out the 5 and put 4, which gives us 10. We're going to take away a 10, which basically leaves us with 6,499. Well done if you got that spot on. Right, so now we're going to look at our thousands, and again, you may notice we might have to focus on this one now. If we go over 9, because we have got thousands column, we've got an 8 and a 9, so it's going to be slightly tricky. So I will go through the top one with you, and again, you can do the bottom one by yourself. So, going to increase by 1,000. So I've got an 8, so I'm going to increase by 1,000. That's going to equal a 9. So I've got 59,513. Now, I've got a 9 now. So this is where I need to have a think, because obviously I can't have this. Why can I not have that? I'll leave you a couple of seconds to work that out. And you would be correct, because I can't have 2 numbers in a single column. I can't go from 9 to 10 in a single column. So what I have to do, again, in my head, I have to carry it over to the next column. So I've got a 9, which basically leaves me, like I said, with 10. But this one needs to be carried over into the next column, exactly like how you would if you were adding it. So that 59 becomes 60,000. 60,513. Notice how it's gone from 9 to a 0, and my 10,000s column has increased by 1. So again, I will go back. This one's a little bit more straightforward. I go from 8, then I go to 7, 57,513, and then 56,513. What I want you to do now is I want you to pause the video and have a go at the bottom one by yourself. Right, okay, let's go through it together, shall we? So we got a 9. Now obviously that can't become a 10. So what I have to do is I have to carry it over to the next column. So that 1 and then the 7 becomes an 8. So it's going to be 80,831. Then the next one is going to be 81,831. Well done if you got that. And again, this one's going to be 78,831. And this one's going to be 77,831. Just notice how these columns do not change. The hundreds, tens, and ones do not change. That's the important thing there. Right, so we have got some more examples here. What I'm going to do is spend a couple minutes going through each one of these. So pause the video, and I will go through each one of these with you. Right, okay, so we're going to add 10. So now I've got a 9 here. So obviously I can't have a 10 in one column. So that means the 1 is carried over to 4. So that 4 becomes a 5. So it becomes 6,000 and 6,000. Sorry, I've got that completely wrong. I'll go and try it again. See if you want me to stick 6,503. Try it again, Chad. There we go. 6,503. I'm just testing to make sure you're watching. The next one's going to be 6,513. Like so. Then I go back. Got a 9. It's going to go back to an 8. So it's going to be 6,483. Then it's going to be 6,473. I go, right, this time I'm adding our hundreds, so I'm going to focus on my hundreds column. So I've got 8,263, then 8,363. Now I'm going to go backwards. So now I've got 1, so I'm going to have 0 in that column. I'll placeholder 8,063. Like so. Now I've got a 0. So you think about what I need to do here. If I'm going down, it's 8,063. Again, if you can't do it in your head, that's fine. Cross out the 8 and put a 7, then a 10, then take away the 110, which equals 7,963. Notice how here 2 columns have changed. That is a 3. And I'm going to get rid of that just so it doesn't interfere with my bottom number. Right, okay. Our last one. I've got a 9. I'm going up in the thousands this time. So I got my 9 there. I want to go up, so that's going to give us 10. Obviously, I can't have 10 in a column, so that 1 needs to go to the next one. So that's 4 becomes a 5, and that 9 becomes a 0. So I've got 50,163. Then I've got 51,163. And I'm going to go back again, which means I've got 40, I've got a 9, so it's going to be an 8, 48,163, and then 47,163. Well done if you got those. If you didn't, you can go back for this video and go over things a few times and possibly get an adult or a brother or sister to help you as well. What I want to start trying doing is sending our work in, so that can be either by for a picture or send it in, and you can send your work, your completed work, to one of these 2 emails. So if you're in my class, you'll send it to wi5sycamore@astraybyone.org, or if you miss Kaylee's class, you'll send it to wi5hazel@astraybyone.org. It's really important that you do that, so that we make sure that you are getting it all right, and so that we can at least mark your work as well. Right, thank you very much. If there's anything that you're struggling with, feel free to go back over the video. The worksheet will be on the website. It is here as well. Ignore that side. I will delete that. Don't need that bit. Tomorrow's. The worksheet will be like this as well. So you've got count forwards and tens, hundreds and thousands. You got count forwards and count backwards. You can do it on the sheet, you can do it on a piece of paper and send it in. Either way is absolutely fine. I'll put it on this video as well, so you can see it like that, and it will also be on the website. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.